Okay. Welcome everyone to the March 19th meeting of the Village of New Paltz Planning Board. Tonight we have some administrative business to attend to first, followed by two public hearings and then a number of applications to review. So I'd like to start out just by asking the board if anyone had any changes or modifications they want to make to the March 5th minutes, or it looks good. Nothing. Okay. Could I get a motion to approve the March 5th minutes?
So move.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Also, we had a previous meeting on February 6th that we still need to approve the minutes for. Like to get a motion to approve the minutes from the February 6th meeting.
I think we have enough. I can't vote. I wasn't here.
Well,
Yeah.
so we've done a little research on it, and you actually don't have to have been at the meeting to vote if you're comfortable
Okay.
voting.
fine.
So, yeah.
Right.
So moved.
Motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up, I'd like to get a update from the village board and Ulster County Planning Board. If there's anything to share.
Sure. First of all, thank you for spending the evening reviewing village matters, as always. Just a couple of things that's on your agenda. Ulster County Planning Board reviewed 11 Water Street. There were two required modifications that included checking with the local fire district and highway departments to make sure that everything is good as far as they're concerned, and that the signage at the entrance to the 11 Water Street be more of a monument style signage than what I believe was proposed from the village board. We spent a good amount of time talking about the definition of family, and we'll be issuing planning board that discussion in summary for you to take a look at. And then a few weeks ago, I think Rachel had mentioned that there were some issues in our code in terms of what is what. And if any of you have taken any further steps to sort of point those out to the village board, that'd be great, because we are, in an ongoing manner looking at our code and talking about what the code is and it needs updating. And there's plenty of revisions that could be made, but if you have something specific, that'd be.
I saw a whole section on parking garages. Do we have any parking garages that we're responsible for?
The village owned?
Well, it's in the
No.
code. There's
Yeah,
a whole
parking
section in the
lots.
code
Yeah.
about parking garages.
Yeah, I'm unaware of any parking garages in the village.
You need to take that out.
Maybe there might be in the future, I don't know.
Autumn found the code for us for the things that we brought up.
Okay, and you're
Yeah.
better, that's more clear and,
Yeah, we're working on compiling some specific things.
Terrific.
And specific changes.
yeah, great, all right. And that's it for me, so thanks.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. Next, I was wondering if there were any updates from the town planning board. Amy, did you get a chance
No.
to?
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So recently, Taco Bell came back again with a new design and a completed traffic study. And as of the last meeting, there's a brand new proposal for a new subdivision on South Ohioville. And this is for approximately a dozen single-family houses. And those are my updates.
Thank you. Okay,
Is that in a wetland or not?
I'm not sure.
She didn't hear me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You could ask me, but I haven't studied the wetlands map over there. I don't know.
Thank you.
Next, there's an item on the agenda. We need to reschedule the public hearing for 5, 13, 17 Cooper Street and 22 Bonnecue View. Could I get a motion to move the public hearing for, is this PB 513? What is this number? 1314, okay. Can I get a motion to move PB 2314, move the public hearing for 2314 to April 2nd?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, and there was one other small thing we have to look at for PB 2302, 145 North Chestnut. The resolution of approval that was adopted had a typographical error. The resolution should have stated that the project would include 68 residential units, not 63. All the final project documents and seeker review referenced 68 units. So I would like to get a motion to, I guess how should I phrase it? Clarify that the approval resolution should have stated that the mixed use development would have 68 residential units.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, Amy has her hand up. Or is that just a aye? Oh, she's
Yeah,
muted.
thank you.
It's my eye.
All right, with that out of the way, I'd like to move on to our public hearing, or sorry, first, I'd like to move on to public comment section. If you would like to make a public comment about general board matters other than the 2 applications that are specifically here for public hearings tonight, you may do so now. Who's here? Yes, please. Would you like to come up?
Hi, Christine Marmo, 127 Huguenot Street, and this has to do with 5 and 7 Prospect. What I would ask are 2 things, because they're large projects and they're 2 designated sites or projects. Would it be possible for you to consider having the public hearing on 2 separate meetings so that the property at 5 could be fully digested, and then 7? I'm myself getting kind of mixed up between 5 and 7. So ask for your consideration on that, having 2 separate nights, because there will have to be 2 separate public hearings. And the second thing that kind of goes along with that is that if the applicants could put online, or however that's done, the plans maybe 5 days before the meeting, because we get them often late, not all the time, but it's hard to digest what we're looking at if it's just like a day before. So those are the 2 things: public hearing being separate meetings and the applicant getting the plans up to everyone sooner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I guess I feel like I should just address that last point briefly. The site plans are online now and are public, and you can access them at any time. You know, after our last round of discussion with them, they updated site plans, so they're available on the village website if you'd like.
No, yeah, but sometimes they weren't. The most recent one of the things they discussed wasn't addressed, so that's why I thought maybe it was not.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure they're up to date before any public hearing. Is anyone else here tonight to, yes, please.
So at the last meeting, suggestions were made by the board for, I'm talking Allison Nash, 11 Prospect, next door to 7 Prospect, which you'll be discussing tonight. And last time you had brought up suggestions for reducing the footprint of the building. And I looked at the most recent plan, and it was exactly the same as the plan before, unless it was put up with, those two little pieces were still on the site plan.
Oh, right.
The two little boxcar thingies that I think it was you who suggested they take it out, and that really reduces the footprint quite a bit. So I'm right next door, and it's, and you can see from the street, in walking down the street, you would not see quite so much building if Mr. Serta went along with your suggestion, which he said he would, and that's why I was confused, because I thought the public for the site plan review tonight was to review that new site plan, but it wasn't there. Okay, and also on the site plan, because I'm next door, the layout of the trees and the fence was not completely clear, and since he's updating the site plan anyway, I would like to suggest that rather than have the trees and fence go all the way from the west to the east, all along my property, if it just goes along where all the cars are and then continues that way to block the view of all those cars. Do you understand what I'm saying? So instead of, the way he has it now is the trees and the fence go from where the garage is now all the way up to the sidewalk. There's no need for it to go to do all that. And I'm sort of worried about them taking care of all those trees. So instead, they could just put the trees up to where the parking lot ends and then put some more trees and fence catty corner.
So this is number
Thank
seven.
you.
Number 7, correct?
Number 7. This is just number 7 we're talking about now, which you'll be talking about later.
Understood.
Okay, and then I have more to say, but I'm going to wait until the new plans arrive.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
June Wheeler at 15 Prospect Street, and I know I submitted a letter last time. I'll try not to repeat too much. I have a couple of new points. As I suggested in my last letter, I live on Prospect Street, thanks largely to the commitment to community that has long existed among its residents. Natalie Minuski, who had lived at number 15 since the 70s, was only willing to sell her house to my husband and me after she had met us and our 3 young children, and had decided we were a good bet to contribute to the stability of her beloved Prospect Street neighborhood, something that was of utmost importance to her, and as it is to all of us. And I'm grateful. We have tried to give back like so many of the families on this street. Among them, Allison gave us a list earlier, but a former mayor, library board members like myself, village trustees, a rabbi, planning and zoning board members, and at least one firefighter. It is the character of a family neighborhood like this that our R2 zoning surely is meant to protect, which is why R2 zoning prohibits rooming houses. Rooming houses are specifically disallowed in R2 districts, but 1 and 2 family homes are of course allowed. So what constitutes a family? The village board recently issued a position statement on the definition of family that reads in part, in essence, if a group of people is sharing a kitchen and living space, they should be treated like any other family, provided that safety-related code violations do not exist. I wholeheartedly agree that, quote, performing privacy invading or inappropriate work involving the tracking of blood relations, whether individuals have chosen to marry or other personal choices, to quote from their statement, is wrong. Especially, to continue quoting, as, quote, such overreaches are known to disproportionately impact marginalized populations. However, it doesn't take much imagination to realize that any profit-minded real estate developer hoping to maximize their profit would have to do to their multi-room property is stick the smallest of kitchens in it and call the tenants in it a family. Oh, and indicate a living space on the site plan. But since a living space that can be readily converted into a rentable bedroom after planning board approval often is converted, these would seem to be fairly insufficient requirements and unenforceable after the fact. And I'm still on about that beautiful barn, which I'm assuming the new site plans are still raising. So I would just direct you back to my previous letter. I don't think you were here, Mr. Dolan.
I have it. Thank you.
You do. Okay. So, you know, besides the visual and oral sound buffer that it provides to a lot of the rest of the street, both across, as soon as you come down John, you can see it in the distance for sound and light, especially at night. If there's going to be cars driving in there instead of having the beautiful barn. And the runoff is still, we even had recently a little rise put at the end of our driveway to just ascertain whether the flooding in our driveway was coming from the street. It flooded just as much with the last rains. It is definitely coming from beside us, which is Allison's house, which she says is her basement is now flooding from the property, which is slightly uphill of hers. So the impermeability of any paving stones on top of other ones, I don't trust is going to end up with a permeable surface that will be sufficient. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is anyone else here tonight to make a public comment? No? Anyone online wishing to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to move on to our public hearings. Could I get a motion to open the hearing for PB 2401 3B Church Street?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3B Church Street. I don't think we need you to come up actually. Is anyone here tonight to make a comment on 3B Church Street? No. Seeing none, I'd like to just acknowledge that we received 2 letters regarding this application. One from Akashlina Ahmed in support of the application, and just one. I see. And another one from Shane Reedy, also in support of the application. If there are no other public comments, I'd like to get a motion to close the public hearing for PB 2401.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Whichever.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Public hearing is now closed. Next, I'd like a motion to open the public hearing for PB 2402 7-11 Church Street.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Would anyone here tonight wish to make a comment on 7-11 Church Street? Okay. In that case, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing for PB 2402 7-11 Church Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. In that case, moving on to our first application review, PB 23-15, 54, and 60 Huguenot Street. Oh, yeah, we have one more thing for you guys right after this application. Yes, please come up. Sorry, we wanted to get you in here first, since I know it's been a kind of a winding road for you.
Thank you.
Yes, so I hear that the ZBA granted your variance. Are there any changes to the site plan, or it's all what we saw the last time?
Yes.
Excellent. So I think for us, the next steps would just be to, first we need to classify you as a type 2 action. So could I get a motion to classify PB 23-15 as a seeker type 2 action?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And next we need to set a public hearing. Now it's my understanding that since you already went through one public hearing, you're
We're ready
pretty
to
much
go.
ready to go? Okay. In that case, I'd like a motion to set the public hearing for PB 23-15 for our next meeting on April 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, I think we can move forward with preparing a resolution of approval. So could I get a motion authorizing our attorney to prepare the resolution of approval for this application?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Well, we will see you next time for your public hearing and
Second, thank you,
finish it off then.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, next, back to PB 2401 3B Church Street. You would please come up. Welcome back. So I think, you know, when we have everything, all your materials, you prepared a resolution of approval for you. Unless the board has any questions on this application, I'd like to move forward with just reviewing the resolution and approving.
Yeah, there's nothing, it's just.
So did you get a chance to review this already?
Yes, just now here.
Great. And so were there any questions that you had on it, or?
We have to do the zoning board next, that's
Well, this is specifically for your restaurant use. So once you have this approval, you're free to go ahead and start doing the restaurant.
Sure.
To get a CO from the,
Yeah,
building
yeah.
inspector.
Right. But the ZBA, the variance would be specifically for the bar use.
Got you, of course,
So yeah, that's the separate
got it, that makes sense.
process. Okay, in that case, I'd like to just review the special conditions and then we can vote on approving. So, this resolution has three special or specific conditions. Number one, this approval does not include a bar/tavern use. There shall be no alcohol service on the property unless and until a special use permit is issued for the bar/tavern use. Two, the outdoor cafe must maintain compliance with the standards in 212-41J, including but not limited to closure by 9 p.m. Three, there has been no request or approval for outdoor music as part of this special use permit. And then there are some general conditions that go on with any special use permit. So if the board has no objections, I'd like a motion to approve PB. What is this? PB 2401.
So moved.
Second. And could we have a roll call vote? Autumn? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, she.
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks. Great. So you're approved. You have your approval for this special use. And if you'd like to go on to the next steps, Autumn is happy to help you.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Next, we have PB 2402, 7-11 Church Street. Again.
Hello?
Yeah, so don't think there's anything too crazy here. Did you get a chance to review the resolution of approval?
It's pretty straightforward, yes.
Yeah. And actually, there are no specific conditions for this one, just our general conditions. So unless the board has any questions, I'd like to get a motion to approve PB 2402.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Can we
Aye.
have a roll call vote, please? Hold on.
Amy raised her hand. Aye.
Aye.
She already said aye. She waved her hand.
Aye.
And she goes.
Aye. Okay.
So to get to actually let her open the shop, we have to do what? We have to do we have to register the business change of use, or this supersedes that? Okay, and that's it? And that, the BCO is what triggers that? Yes. And all that is like a fire inspection, basically? More or less? More or less. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Moving on, we have PB 22-10, 11 Water Street. Hello again. Um, so received the recommendations from the county planning board. I think they're pretty straightforward. However, they did raise this issue of the signage. I was wondering if we could just talk about the signs right now.
We can. It's Solomon, are you with us?
Barry is trying to connect. I don't see Solomon.
But this is Barry. I'm
Barry.
with you there.
Hey,
I don't know
what's
what
up?
happened to Solomon.
Okay, hopefully it's okay. Barry, do you have the plan you can show the signage that Solomon put together?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm zooming in from home and I don't have access to the files. I don't know what happened to Solomon.
I sent it because we, what's that?
Something new, because there's sign plan in your site plan. package.
Yeah, there should be. So is there something specific on that site plan that we want to talk about?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so you said it was on page 8. So, yeah, I see that, right, and then that freestanding sign is going where exactly?
It's allowed right off. Yeah,
Oh, okay, here, I
Right.
see.
yep.
And I thought they were referring to something else in this. So I guess Okay, yeah, they were referring to this 10-foot tall, 15 square foot sign. Is that,
Whatever your sign requirement is what we
Yeah.
have and have every intention of
Mhm.
putting in, you know, visible, backlit, not,
right? Yeah, I think they were recommending a sign that would be slightly lower to the ground, more monument style, that would blend in with the landscaping. I'm
Sure.
inclined to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not, we just want it to be visible. That's all. And I don't know why he has why he has it at 10 feet. He actually done some additional work to that, not exactly
Yeah,
sure
let
why.
me, if I can butt in on that, I think there's obstructions. If you put it down lower to the ground, nobody will see it. Like if you're coming down Water Street. There's like guardrails there and, you know, you're coming down a hill. And, that's why we put it at the height at 10 feet. We felt it would get it up over those obstructions.
Right, and so what about putting it at lower down on the hill where there aren't so many obstructions?
Yeah, I mean, we're amenable to putting it in a place that's visible because we want people to see us. But lower, I mean, I think our shrub is maximum of 42 inches.
Rendering that direction. So,
I'm looking at it, I don't see this, I'm looking at that same rendering right now, I don't see the sign.
No, the sign's not in the right. But
Okay.
yeah, so the way you see it now, there's obstructions, but you know, it's definitely our objective to have it be seen without somebody having to crane their head and not be paying attention to the road, for safety purposes, but
Well, I
Which
mean,
way is it facing?
it would be
Is it
facing
facing-
up, directly up the road, pointing up the road.
Oh, so towards the rail trail, it would be facing towards,
Yeah, as
Yeah.
you're going down the road,
as you're going down the hill, you would see it on the right.
um,
it says no parking now.
yeah, a little further down, but I mean, it, like, even if it was just a little lower and kind of blend into the landscaping, I think that would be fine. I mean, it's hard to know exactly like where on the grade it would be.
Yeah, how about we just do this? How about we just adjust it and we'll send it to you so you can see it.
Okay, great.
And approve it.
And they were also recommending to just have the fire department and highway department also review the plan, which, I mean, they have been involved. But which highway department are you referring to?
Sorry, there is a message saying that he had no further comments than, I believe that DPW, even cover DPW.
yeah, the fire department is the thing. Do we have anything in writing from them saying that they signed off on it?
A while back they had, but they might not have seen the absolute latest revisions. So that's maybe something we need to
Follow up on that.
check in on. Okay. So moving on. Yes, as we mentioned, Dennis Larios was able to review the stormwater plan, and had no further comments on that. Would you like to just look at the asphalt, the proposal you had for the asphalt in front of the site.
Sure. Do you want me to just elaborate on it?
Yeah.
So
Good.
we spoke to Ryan Cronin and Melanie Cronin, who are in the audience today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And discussed some street art where that hatch area is. You know, a commissioned piece that Ryan had, you know, we spoke and discussed the possibility of doing something fun.
Okay. And I'm not super familiar with this type of asphalt painting. How long lasting is it? Will it be like?
I'm sure there'll be maintenance along the way, but we're gonna, you know, monitor it on a regular basis because obviously we want our hotel entrance to look its sharpest at all times.
Okay.
They paint that crosswalk by the park and it always rubs off after a while.
Yeah, I mean, that has a lot more cars driving on it, to be fair,
Yeah,
but yeah.
it'd be cool if they painted it like a trunk to leg, you know, like a fake sidewalk or something. Make it look like. But yeah, instead of where the white stripes are, you would have some kind of
Artistic mural. Street art mural.
interesting.
Yeah, I included a PDF of just you know, what New York, if you had a chance to take a look at it, it's
Yeah.
just all about how, you know, there's been a lot of street art painted all, you know, over New York and
Yeah. See that? Okay, I'm okay with that. I think I'll at least like brighten some things up.
Wait, is that, is that, what
So
file is that
this
in?
was in the most recent update, the 24 to 28 folder. Should be at the I'm not sure what.
Oh, maybe
folder
it's
you're
not in this
but
folder. Oh.
yeah.
there's a letter I sent, I don't know, a month ago that
Okay.
I just didn't see it in the phone.
Yeah, I see.
but there's a big PDF in that.
Yeah,
attachment.
no, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
Okay, and what was this letter regarding the trees?
So yeah, Green Cross is they're basically our tree doctor, and they fertilize the ground by the roots and help our trees to strengthen and bring resilience to them. You know, to warn off disease and you know, just have them grow and keep being there in a harmonious place. So we had him come out and take a look at all the trees that were not only on our property, but also on the Wallkill Valley Land Trust property. And he has a plan for it. So we're just waiting for the green light so that we can actually start working on that. I mean, our objective would be to begin planning to treat those trees sooner than later, because I think they probably need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand about the black walnuts. They're annoying. There was a mulberry tree on the property. I don't know if it's still alive.
Love mulberry trees.
That's what I think has come down a lot recently in New Paltz, because a lot of times they'll clear cut the lot and just leave a few trees on the edge. That's what they've been doing in the town, of course, all over Lent Farms, and they literally dig the mulberry trees up because they spread. But they're just beautiful trees. I mean,
I agree. I mean, they
berries are
provide a lot of food
delicious.
for their birds, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
So like replace the black walnuts with with mulberries, that would be good. Or-
Actually, I don't, you know, according to the Wallkill Valley Land Trust, they're saying that they, at this point, don't necessarily want us to take the black walnut trees
They
down.
don't want you to.
Not to mention the fact that I don't think we would take any trees down on their property.
Yeah.
But if
No.
there's, if, you know, our assessment of the trees that are all clearly marked on the plan. Would, you know, there are some diseased trees that are gonna have to come down.
Understood. So I guess before we go further, we should review the EAF part 2 that or sorry, part 3 that are already prepared. Did you get a chance to see this or read through this?
No,
I sent it this afternoon,
Ah,
I'm
okay.
sorry, yeah. It's pretty
No
pretty
problem.
straightforward though.
Yeah, I think well, just read some of the highlights. Okay, so intensity of use of land, lead agency recognizes that the proposed hotel will present a more intense use of land than the warehouse buildings currently on the site. This intensity of use near the village's commercial center comports with the goals of the Gateway District and is viewed as a positive change. While the number of people using the site will increase, the intensity of land use will be lightened with improved water facilities and landscaping. Public water and wastewater use. The hotel will use more potable water and use more wastewater than the current land use. The lead agency considered existing problems with wastewater collection systems in the surrounding area. While the increased flow from the new use could pose an impact, the project sponsor has offered to make a contribution towards the village's ongoing wastewater system upgrades that will mitigate the impact of additional flow. Finally, traffic. Lead agency also notes that it has not identified a moderate or large impact with respect to traffic. Although the hotel will generate additional vehicle trips, the project will result in an overall improvement to the road facilities for vehicles as well as bicyclists and pedestrians. The new site layout will improve site distances and new sidewalk infrastructure will be added. So given that, I would like to ask the board for a motion declaring a negative declaration for this project.
so moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Amy, do you have a question or is that an aye? Oh, okay,
It's an aye.
thank you. So there are just a few remaining outstanding things. Specifically, I don't think we've finalized the contribution towards the sanitary sewer upgrade. So do we need something in writing, some memo from you guys?
yes, actually,
saying that?
Rich Olson, our counsel, is online right now, and he is going to work with us to
Excellent, okay.
make that happen.
So in that case, will that be just added as a specific condition? of
Yeah, I
the-
just wanted to have it in writing from the applicant.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
but that'll be a condition. And I also have been in touch with Rich Olson as well as Will Frank, the village attorney, about a performance bond for the infrastructure along the roadway and the easements related to the access to the rail trail. So we'll have that, you know, all put together and as a condition of approval.
Right?
Okay. Well, in that case, I think, does the board have any other questions, any other things they wanted to review at this point?
well, at our last meeting, Rich had started a discussion about the color being so dark of that, the middle panel. And I think he's right. I mean, when you look at the renderings, it's hard to tell how dark it is compared to the asphalt. 'Cause I know asphalt kind of looks kind of grayish, and then some of the renderings it looks grayer, and then others it looks darker. But they said they brought a sample, and it is a really deep dark. It's a really deep, rich, dark brown, which isn't, I mean, it's no disputing taste, but I think it is, when you see a big, dark space in a landscape, it does kind of seem more imposing, I think. I don't know. But that was, he brought that up. He's not here.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's not
I'm not
something.
sure that I did see that sample you brought in and thought it looked okay, but yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
hard
like
to
the
know.
color of this,
really.
it's a little darker, I think, even than the top of this table, right? The color.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'll be quite the contrast next to the cedar.
yeah.
We basically, that kind of is our color coordination at the original hotel that we built in Woodstock. We have black windows, it's a lot of glass, so that kind of appears black on the outside too. And we have the contrast of the
And it's not any darker than what's there right now.
cedar also.
You know,
so.
the building there is very dark, but a big dark brown building.
Mhm.
There's that, and then also, we've met with the historic,
Oh, yeah, when we met with the Historic Preservation Commission.
we had shared the material list with them, and they seem to like it. So, I mean, listen, I don't know that we're dead set on that color, but we thought about it for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I was satisfied with the sample that you guys brought in. Thanks for showing us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in regard to your idea about changing that hatched area, I thought was a good one. And with the Cronin's involved, it's great. And further to that, I think we're going to see some green at the front of that building as well. We have, in our current hotel also, we've definitely brought color to the buildings, and we're thoughtful about bringing color year round in different seasons. Still having the green, during the winter time.
Okay. Your comment did remind me of something else that Rich brought up last time, which was that some of the neighbors were concerned about the impact of the construction
Sure.
on Plains Road, and do you anticipate that you will have to close any roads during the construction of?
So in my letter, I addressed that. And it's the last paragraph.
Right.
I think it was Kim that brought that to the board's attention. I think her name was Kim, right? The member of the public that came. Yeah, no, I met her a couple of times. Anyway, it's obviously our objective not to close the road. We won't really know what the extent of that is until we actually open up the street. But I imagine, we would just try to keep a lane open, and, there'd be people on either side, similar to how you see on any country road where they stop traffic on one side to let the oncoming traffic go around whatever work is being done. So that,
Right.
I believe that intersection is wide enough where it's going to be kind of an easy thing to do. Wider than most intersections.
Yeah, true. Okay. I guess in that case, there's no other questions or discussions we need to have right now. I'd like to get a motion to authorize our attorney to draft a resolution of approval for this project Any, oh my gosh. 22-10.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You want to plan to have that on for the next meeting in a second?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
the revised sign plan.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's already done. It's just a matter of, maybe adjusting it a bit.
Yeah.
And maybe we should just follow up, make sure the fire chief can send us something,
Yes, yeah, thank you. I made a note of that. too.
or whatever.
Yeah.
An officer of the fire company.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah. Thank you.
very much.
I can't find.
I mean, maybe they're not on their property, maybe they're on the Wallkill Valley and Trust property. Next, could we have PB 2309, 7 Prospect Street? Hello again. Okay, so we did receive your updated site plan. Let me just pull that up 1 second. Yeah, I believe this is it. So, yeah, Rachel, have you seen this one yet?
Is it in the file?
I think so, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I see that you were able to eliminate that connector.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
And
That's what they were asking.
And the portion of the rear of the existing building, since we're reducing one of the bedrooms,
Right.
it made sense. It kind of cleaned up the elevations and how the whole thing was going to come together.
So this is 7 Prospect. This is 5,
Yes,
7.
7 Prospect, correct.
Which also allowed us to reconfigure the parking more towards the rear, keep it away as
Mhm.
far as we could from the side
Mhm.
yard on the north side, which also allowed us to do more plantings of trees. And we also increased the length of the fencing centered on the parking area itself,
Yeah,
just as an additional buffer.
yeah, I think that makes sense. And okay, are there any other changes to the landscaping in this?
We
plan?
added additional trees along the north, and we also eliminated the porch on the addition and went with just a covered entryway to minimize that, and also gave us some chance to do some plantings between the addition and the driveway as well.
I see. Okay. And so this plan still has the same number of bedrooms as the previous revision?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So it's a net addition of three bedrooms as opposed to the current house.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I understand that one of the comments from the public was that the neighbor wanted to see the trees not extend all the way to Prospect Street, I guess.
Oh.
Okay.
Was
I'm
it the
looking at the
trees or
site
the fence
plan.
they didn't-
I think the trees, she said she wanted them to go in, but it seems like that would really take away a lot of the shielding that you might get otherwise. But
And these these are white spruce.
okay. see. And so does this plan show a decrease in impervious surface as opposed to the existing one, or, oh no,
The impervious surface basically stayed the same, just because of the reconfiguration of it and the type of pavement that we're using.
right. Okay,
We're taking away existing pavement from some areas and adding it to others, essentially.
yeah,
The engineer look at the drainage.
there was an initial review of the like engineering plan. I mean, this doesn't have like a full stormwater plan or anything, but I think most of the drainage happens to the back of the property.
Yeah,
The
it's
west side.
behind the parking, drops off
Yeah,
in that direction.
and so, you know, I assume it's part of building this parking area, there will be some grading to make sure that that's where the water is flowing. Okay. Were there new elevations as part of this,
Yes.
or can I
Oh, sure.
just see that one?
Absolutely.
A good tree.
Yeah, we want something that would have year-round buffer.
It doesn't need much maintenance. I think that was one of
Right,
the
there's another one
concerns.
as well, right?
It sounds, it doesn't need pruning.
Okay.
Not my department, but just looking at the street view, and it looks like the front yards, there's not generally a lot of trees like right up to the street. So I mean, maybe you wouldn't want them to go closer than the front of the building. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. So, yeah, I think
it's in the front yard setback.
Okay, you want to take that one out?
I'm not saying.
I have no problem. I mean,
yeah, I think
I
that
don't know
might.
why wouldn't you want a tree between two houses?
It's just kind of it looks kind of open and you know, that yard
You like
like,
that
and to
open
have
look?
a hedge of bushes right up to the street might be odd, but
Oh,
I mean,
but
it's
that's
it's
what
really
I
up to
have.
you. It's up to you.
Well,
I just.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
potentially we just remove one of those from the planting. Yeah. Okay. Were there any other?
It does
Yeah.
make a big difference with trees like this, how they're cared for. Like most people use that arborvitae, which is a really dense tree that you can hardly see through. And if you look at some of them, they're like these scraggly little things, like the ones they planted by Stewart's to shield the garbage cans. And then you look at the ones at the medical center and they're these huge, like you could make it bigger and thicker than any wall you could possibly build. And they're around, and if you look at the Family Health Medical Center up there. I stopped by, I stopped. Yeah, it just depends on I mean, it depends on whether they thrive in that particular spot or not. I don't know. I don't know. I think spruce, my spruce is doing pretty well.
Well,
Rachel, can I see
are there any other questions about this revision or any other changes we want to see before the public hearing? Okay.
No, it's good. They squished them together.
Yeah.
Probably better.
I agree. I think this is
Rich
an
was right.
improvement. So in that case, I'd like to get a motion to schedule PB 2309 for a public hearing on our next meeting, April. No? Okay.
The other meeting.
16th, yes.
Okay. I see. Yes, we want them to be. Yeah. So I'd like to get a motion to schedule a public hearing for PB 2309 for April 16th.
Oh. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I think that is all for tonight, but we will see you back here in April for a public hearing.
Very good. Thank you much.
Thank you.
I had a neighbor. And it made me think about it a lot. I mean, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but street, you can tell who owns and who rents. The renters, they have their garbage cans right in the street. And it does kind of make the street look like an alley. Look out, looks like an alley because of those
Yeah.
garbage cans.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, it either it bothers you or it doesn't. I mean, I always take mine in now because I'll never forget. But
Yeah.
I can see why it would really bother, it really bothered my neighbor, may she rest in peace. She.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Now it's pretty laid back, so.
Well, I do think it's an enforcement issue too. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's just something that
Well, the student-
landlords, if it's consistently not
landlord
done,
should
then
be
they should be
responsible.
fined, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
But I don't know what the exact law is about the garbage, like, I'd like to
think
find
there's-
that out.
I think it's in the zoning, there's stuff in the zoning about trash in your yard too, or, you know.
Right, and this is just like an issue with the cans. People put their cans on the street and they just, right by the street, and they just leave them there instead
Yeah.
of taking them in and out.
Yeah, I believe that's something in the zoning. Next we have PB 2405, 88 North Chestnut Street. The applicant here tonight. The applicant online? Nope. Okay.
Which one is?
This is the one that's across from your place, yeah, 88 North Chestnut.
It's the old Tony's repair shop that had like the.
Oh,
lower-
yeah.
You guys sat and heard about it forever when they were trying to do the canvas.
Yes, I know, and they gave up. They give up on it?
Yeah, well, now
Okay.
Jamaican restaurant
It's a
wants
new
to
one.
open. Well,
Such
I'm
a
not sure how
weird-
much we can do without the applicant here.
It's such a weird building. Like, there's no windows.
It was an apple pool.
Oh, is that why?
I'm working with the landlord on it.
It's so weird.
All right.
It's escrow if you want.
Yeah.
Other than that.
It's a machine, yeah.
Okay.
They're just trying to do a restaurant there, I know, the Jamaican.
Well,
I'll follow up with you.
yeah, I'd like to hear their full presentation and have them walk us through the site plan. But for now, I guess we could just set the escrow for this project. I mean, do you think we'll need any consultants on this, or it's a restaurant? I don't really anticipate needing a traffic study or.
They did a pretty thorough site plan, didn't they? That was my understanding. I haven't seen it. Rose said that.
They have a floor plan, and the site plan itself is a tiny little square on the first page. So I can't really, it's hard to go off of that. Floor plan's very detailed. but that's not really what we're looking at right now.
Gotcha.
They're not changing the structure, you know, the same building is staying. It's,
Right, right.
Didn't we ask the original cannabis developer for a traffic study?
Yeah, they never did it.
Oh, they never
Yeah.
did it. Well,
And I think
We went over
that was potentially because of the large like surge of traffic, right? When they opened, we were worried about it being more high volume and.
I agree. And I had that in my craw. However, without having a lot of detail here,
Yeah,
I frankly think we should wait for the applicant. That's what I kind of.
okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I was considering doing really was setting escrow, but if we're not even sure how involved application is gonna be, then yeah, I'm happy to wait.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. Well, in that case, let's continue on and could we have PB 2406 85 North Chestnut, please?
Hello?
Hello. Well, we're excited to see this back in front of us. I remember working through it the first time. But I'm not sure, Terry, you were on the board yet, so could you just give us a brief intro on that project?
Sure. So you guys are both through that whole process, I think, right? Rebecca,
So,
you were on the board through that. I'm sorry, Rachel. This is at the corner of Mulberry, Chestnut. Roddy's shop is currently there. Plan is to build 3-story building with 12 2-bedroom units, 3 1-bedroom units. And as required by NBR, the commercial has to be in the front, first floor. It's gonna be right up against the road as required in NBR, all brand new sidewalks. Parking in the rear, and the side. Access is gonna be on the south through the neighbor's property. I forget what stores are there now. It's like
Village Pizza.
Village Pizza property,
Mhm.
which we need an easement for. We went through a lot of rounds of meetings with this board, and it was productive. You know, each time we kind of modified the plan and made it a little better. And we have renderings of the building, which changed a couple of times. See how it looked. There's 2 affordable units as required by code. Lots of landscaping. The trail, bigger part of it. So the trail, Roddy's given an easement for the Empire State Trail to come through the south portion of the property and connect to the rail trail, which is going to be built like
Next week.
next week.
According to the.
She gave an easement
Oh,
for.
wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be done soon.
I'm curious about, because I cross the street all the time back and forth in that area. A couple of the crosswalks, I'm wondering like, which are the real crosswalks? Because there's one that's kind of faded and I tried to use it and nearly got hit by a car.
Yeah. They're doing part of that is all kinds of upgrades to, a lot of them have those plans, all kinds of upgrades to that intersection.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly everything they're doing, but there's a lot of work.
Some of that's too, I get almost, that light that goes too quick
Yeah.
when somebody's turning and you cross and it's like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
What are you gonna
being,
do with all the taxis?
Taxis never there. They're there just for repairs. The ones they're
You're gonna-
selling on the
no.
side.
They're just gonna.
No,
go
they
some-
never, their place is at the bus station, 139. But when one.
No, I see that it seems like there's always lots of New Paltz like the cabs are parked all
No, we
around.
have like one or
You're gonna
two,
just-
well, you know.
You have
they've
somewhere
been
else.
Broken, we switch them when one is broken, bring it to fix it, then we'll take it back. Just to repair the cars there.
Or paying.
Yeah.
But they're based at the bus station.
Okay.
I didn't bring the rendering.
You have the agenda, the links in the agenda also take you to the,
Yeah. It's this.
but I have it all here if you want to look at the renderings. Yeah. It's
All the New Paltz buildings are gonna look like, I think it's just.
hard to
all the
really
same.
see. Okay, this is 32, I think. So
So we did get a memo from the building inspector confirming that nothing has changed in the code between, so this was approved in December 2021, right? So it's been 2 years and a little bit, which means the approvals have expired, so we need, the board needs to consider new approval. But we did confirm that there's no changes to the code that would affect any of the dimensions or requirements for the project. I also looked at the neg deck that the board adopted for its seeker review. I think the question the board just needs to look over that neg deck and determine if it encompasses the project, if anything significant has changed that the board needs to consider in terms of, I mean, the project itself hasn't changed. If the surrounding environment, any changes to that might merit reconsideration, or whether the existing seeker review covers the project.
Sure.
And then, I think that we would need to do another, we would need to open a public hearing. Yeah.
You mentioned that they are doing a lot of work at an intersection. Is that the Mulberry Street?
No, it's the Stewart's intersection with Henry Du Bois. So it's yeah, so that's
Oh, 'cause
part
the
of,
Empire Trail.
yes. So the big project that's upgrading Henry Du Bois didn't include upgrades to that intersection, so they got some separate money to connect it all the way through to the rail trail. And it's all
Okay, but
per, yeah.
so where does that?
So you got like Google Maps up or? It's
Oh, I
the,
see it. I see.
yeah. It's that new light that went in with for Stewart's.
Right.
So they did some improvements, they put the light in, but that's gonna be fully upgraded for pedestrians now to connect to the rail trail.
are they putting the bike lane on Henry Du Bois now?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're starting construction on that.
I know it went out to bid, I'm not doing that. I know it went out to bid and I think they selected the contractor.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be on one side of the street, right, on the south side of Henry Du Bois, or did they agreed to that, correct?
What?
I think that's where it was going, but I'm not 100%. Is it only on the south side? Did they end up doing like a consolidated bike and ped lane that was like on one side of the street, or is it on both sides of the street?
I think it's on one side.
Yeah, one side, on the
That's
Stewart
where
side.
it seemed like it was going.
Yeah, it's on the
So
Stewart
it's on the
side.
south street, on the
Yeah.
south side. on the
That's
Stewart
why
side.
they're coming in this way and then doing that.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice to have a sidewalk across there. Is there any plans to put a sidewalk across in front of Village Pizza at all, or? That's such a weird, like. you're
Well,
walking
it's
and you kinda like-
across their whole frontage
Yeah. because
towards the
you're-
village.
Yeah, 'cause there's really not an actual sidewalk. really.
I don't know if the DOT is planning that now. This is mainly to get to that goes the other way.
Yeah.
It'd be nice though.
So what you're saying is basically the upgrades to that intersection with the traffic light are basically for bikes and pedestrians to get to the rail trail.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're not gonna change turning radii, they're not gonna do
No,
any of
no,
that,
no, no,
right?
no.
It's, you know, crosswalks and maybe different.
We're putting crosswalks. When the building goes up, it's gonna be crosswalks connecting to the trail by Zero Place, all the way around the building.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and then we'll be putting in brand new sidewalk to connect to Zero Place, like Brady said.
Okay,
Okay,
well. I think our the first step that we need to do is, do we have the seeker? approval?
I think
What's
that's
that?
in link, Autumn put a link in the folder to the PV 20-14, which was the previous approval. And in there, you'll find the exact.
It's in the site plan resolution? Yeah. And she made it part of the site plan resolution.
No, in the folder,
She has separate name.
yeah, there's a folder in here. Saw it before.
It's, yeah, it's like the agenda, it is, I think also.
Here it is, Nick Decker.
what's the name of the file?
Uh,
There's one for schematics, there's an application form, the rendering, site plans.
Negative declaration adopted.
adopted, yeah, okay.
21-1005. It's
So-
the sixth one down. Under the
Terry,
folders.
if you look at the agenda,
Yeah,
number 6 on the agenda, there's a link to a previously approved project. And if you go to that folder, then there's a Word document named negative declaration adopted.
oh, I didn't see that, okay, okay.
So I guess, let me just review this quickly. The impact on land, no significant erosion impacts are anticipated. Okay, but you have dust control measures. Okay. Station has. And ORHP has stated it has no concerns regarding the proposed project under seeker. Okay. HPC had favorable comments. And so, yes, we did have a traffic study conducted, and they said that there would be no significant impact on traffic. Impact on noise.
Is there still a plan for that left turn lane that's mentioned in there? Is that still part of the plan?
Left turn lane from where?
This to be added, that's in now, so that wasn't in,
Oh, that's already in existence?
yeah.
now?
yes.
Okay, got it.
So it wasn't in yet.
Perfect.
I see. I mean, do we think that any of the traffic conditions have changed enough that this is no longer true, that this has a no or small impact? I mean, nothing really else has been built yet, but we do have other projects coming.
The other 2 giant apartment buildings.
Yeah, I mean, this is significantly a totally
Smaller
different
than the
scale
others, yeah.
than the other ones, so.
I don't know,
Okay.
somehow the traffic always seems terrible, and somehow they always tell you it's okay. I don't know, I can't reconcile the 2 things, I don't know.
And there was no left turn. It actually, it's improved since then. Since they put the traffic lights, slowed the traffic down and,
yeah.
yeah. And people, they're not waiting and coming in and out from every direction.
Right. And nothing on Mulberry Street has changed.
No,
That was already there, the zero place.
Pedestrian
Okay.
situation got better since, you know, because they were doing all these improvements here.
Right. Yeah. And so you'll be adding that sidewalk along 32.
on 32 on Melbury Square.
Yeah, and on Mulberry Square.
I see.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, there was no significant environmental impact on the light. Yeah, so in conclusion, the Village of New Paltz Planning Board finds the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts by its approval, assuming the agency or the accuracy and completeness of the plans and documents submitted by the applicant, and therefore no further environmental review is necessary. I feel like this is still all valid. I don't see anything in here that has significantly changed since we went through this, but are there any other thoughts on the board?
No.
Okay. Okay, do we need any sort of motion or what are going to be the next steps then?
We can capture that in the ultimate resolution. But
Okay,
I think that we need to have a public hearing.
right, yeah. Okay,
Put that down. Sorry about that. Yeah.
no
Let's
problem.
put that on the-
And I don't, we've looked at this such a long time ago. What was the heat? How is it being heated again?
I mean,
Heat
there's-
pumps,
yeah,
yes.
there's some
You got
heat
heat
pumps
pumps?
on the
Okay.
site
We
plan.
did all that special screening on the back. There's a whole detail for it. Now it's gonna be like a gate around it and it's gonna match the building.
So all three of them are having heat pumps, all three apartment buildings,
Yeah,
but just one of them has solar panels. This one you don't have any solar panels, do you?
No, we do have solar panels for the public corridors and that.
oh, like roof mounted solar panels.
Yes, just for the outside lighting,
Okay. I
and for
see.
the hallways.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah.
There's some panels.
Do you want like your site plans and
Should be on.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to use I'm trying to use the new file, because I've got,
yeah, I always just click the links in the agenda and I don't know.
yeah, I was.
Should be an
so
architectural drawing,
I'll
not the
work on these
rendering.
that I get. I can do a search and then, oh yeah, I know what to do.
All right, well, anyway, I'd like to get a motion to schedule the public hearing for PB 2405 for the April 16th meeting.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we also need to set escrow for this? I see that is listed here. It seems like. Okay,
Okay.
excellent. Well, I guess that is all for now, and we will see you at public hearing in April.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Oh, before we're done, Autumn asked me to kind of go through some of the conditions, just to kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And what I found was that a lot of them, there really wasn't much for us to do, like, it would say like, address the latest village engineer comment was the first one. We actually did that already. I think the attorney put that in just to like make sure. And the same with the traffic engineering comments, so just letting the board know a lot of this stuff is either done or doesn't change the plan. It's like administrative stuff.
Oh,
That was what I got out of the condition, so. We're happy to do whatever you guys need.
So will we be
Okay, so
doing
they're
an,
on the- they're not on the rendering, the solar, I see,
Yeah.
I got it now. They're on the
elevation?
elevation, but they're not on the renderings. I see. I got you.
So
Good,
in the
okay.
new resolution approval, will we be removing some of those special conditions? It will be
Yeah.
just rewriting that previous,
Sorry.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I think we will have a new resolution, and so if you want to let me know which of those is no longer relevant, we can.
Okay.
Make it quicker.
Or I can just do, my opinion on the status of each.
That'd be terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Well, I believe that is everything for tonight. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.